welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video and podcast on the tools and resources I use to run my business, like online software or different things like that to keep everything organized and everything that goes into the back end. So I've had a bit of a crazy few weeks. I haven't even been in the right headspace to film a video up until now. In the middle of moving house, but I'm not even staying here, so like all my stuff's everywhere, all my clothes are folded on the floor. There's this big storm coming, there's all the floods happening in Brisbane. It's like just so humid and there's no airflow, and like everything's just been really stressful with work, and everything's still happening with COVID and everything's been affected. So it's like every area of my life has broken down. So someone messaged me just before and they're like, oh, what do fit people do on a Friday night in Rockhampton? And I was like, oh, well, I just called my dad and I'm doing my business admin and like all this stuff, like not out partying and having a blast. I'm like just head down, focused and ready to work. I quite like doing this, obviously, though, because my business is my favorite hobby, so why wouldn't I do it? So filming this on a Friday night, just made myself a nice veggie broth. I'm nice and fresh-faced and glowy skin and not dressed up at all. So I hope you enjoy the video. I wanted to make this for people who are obviously already in business but wanting to know some different tools or resources or software that they can use to fine-tune in certain areas or to up-level in certain areas, or maybe people who are interested in going into business who just want to know like where to start, what to do, what do you need to download, what do you need to use to get set up, basically. So these are things that I use and that I've found have worked for me. I've been self-employed for a few years now. I've started a few different businesses, but now that I'm really focusing in on the online nutrition stuff, this is just how I manage everything. And for those who don't follow me on Instagram, I do like lots of work with other brands and stuff, so I've got to keep track of my brand deals and lots of social media posting and all that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you've got any other suggestions of what else you would like to see on my channel, whether it's related to nutrition or wellness or business or lifestyle, then I would love to know your suggestions. So let's get into it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at CassieAmber with 2 underscores, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this as well. And just a note, hopefully you can't hear this fan in the background. It's like my saving grace that doesn't even cool me down. It's like I've just been having 2 cold showers a day for like the last week. So hopefully that's not in the background noise. So the first one that I wanted to discuss was ANY.DO. That's my to-do list that I use, and honestly I started using this years ago. It's a free service just to take things off your mind and put it somewhere. It actually clears up so much space because we're all thinking about all these different things. I've like trained myself over the years to always have new ideas or different things I want to do, or different adventures I want to go on, or ideas for my business, or even if it's like you need to renew your car registration, or I need to order more business cards. I literally think of this stuff at the most random time, so I just put it in there. You can categorize it in terms of importance or time limits kind of thing, and you can set calendar reminders to pop up as well. But I just love being able to think of something and get it down, so that whenever I've got a spare moment, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check my to-do list, and you can just swipe it to tick it off, which is so easy. The next one is my email marketing software. Now, I did choose a little bit of a more expensive one because I signed up to this one originally and I was like, oh, it's a bit pricey and I'm just starting out, so I transferred everything to like a way cheaper or a free one, and I just found the cheaper ones like not as user friendly. It's not as aesthetically pleasing. Like when you get the emails, it was kind of, I just didn't really like the back end of it, or even how the emails looked once they got to the end user or the consumer. So I went back to CONVERTKIT, and I've used it for lots of things. Like I did actually make an online course once on Teachable, which is an online course platform, and spent $500. But then I went back, and my next nutrition programs that I've made, I actually just do it in CONVERTKIT at the moment. So I had Beautiful Body Blitz 8-week program, so you can do like landing pages and get email signups and stuff all through there, and like get forms to put on your website. and then I just add them into the sequence, and then it's got like one email a week going out, and I've put links to the videos in there. It's got the worksheets like added as images or PDFs. So I've actually just done it all in there to actually save money in the long run anyway. And I also just send out like a weekly email on a Monday, so that's a way to connect to my audience. I tell them different health tips or offer any different specials, whether it's on my ebooks or different brands and products that I'm working with. So it's just a good way to start off the week and connect with my audience through email. Then I also send a monthly newsletter, so that's a roundup of any of my latest content, what's upcoming, what are they maybe missed out on, any new recipes. So it's just always a way to provide value and connect with your potential clients. So I really recommend ConvertKit. I've just found it the best to use out of all of them. So I'll put the link to that below. I'll put like a list of everything below if you want to sign up to anything. So I hope you love that just as much as me. Number 3 is Epidemic sound. Now, I only recently started doing YouTube like maybe a year ago, trying to be more regular with it. So I'm still quite new to all of this, but I never used to understand the royalty-free music or how do you not get your videos taken down or anything. So you can't just upload any song in the background because it will be copyrighted. So Epidemic sound, they have all these different genres of music. You can type in anything you like and you can basically find music for anything. And they also give you suggested tracks based on your previous saves or previous favorites, so that's really helpful. So I'll put a link to that one in the description below as well. The next one is Calendly. I only started using this very recently with my new online coaching job. I had someone reach out to me for a business meeting, and I always wondered, like, how do they get that thing where you can just book in a time? And the best thing about this, if you have an online business where you can reach anyone anywhere in the world, you don't have to be like, oh, what time is that in your country, or how do we convert that, or what time are you free? Oh no, I'm working here, and how about here? And like this back and forth of like trying to book a time. So it converts the time zone for you, which is a lifesaver. And you just send them a link. You say whether it's like a 15-minute consult or whether it's like an hour-long chat or appointment. So they can just book in with your calendar. And because my job, my shifts change every week at the health store, I just update my calendar weekly so I can do more hours obviously on my days off, or switch it to just before and after my shift if I'm doing like a middle of the day shift at the store. So you can just change it all the time. It's just like a lifesaver. And it's also got a feature where, like, if I've got a client call and I may need to write notes, you can set a limit, like it gives you 10 minutes leeway after the call maybe in case it goes a little bit after, or so you can write a few notes before the next call if you're going to be like booking people quite a bit. So I really, really like that. The next one is PLANN. There's quite a lot of social media planners out these days, but this is just the one that I used from the start. It's just easy to use. You can like drag the photos around to see what's more aesthetically pleasing. It gives you analytics. There's way more features that I don't even use, but I just like to put everything in there because I like to separate all the colors, or like if it's too close-ups of my face or food, I don't want that all together. I want it to be like laid out nicely in the grid, like aesthetically pleasing. And then when I think of the captions, I can just put it in straight away, so you just copy and paste when it's time to post. And I don't think people realize this, but I actually have my social media planned out literally a month in advance. Not that I try to do that, I just have so many ideas I can't fit it all in. So I'm like, oh, I want to write about this health topic, and quickly put it in there when it's like 11 o'clock at night when I'm thinking of all my ideas. So then when I am at work at the health store or doing something during the day, I can just be like, oh, it's 3 p.m. Australian time, 6 p.m. New Zealand time, post now, copy, add any tags. It already shares to Facebook and it's done. It's literally a few minutes to post because I already did this work beforehand. The next one is Notion. This is quite an interesting one. I'm still kind of new to using it, but I felt like this would be helpful because my brain can get quite scattered with all these notes everywhere. Like I have notes on my phone or on the computer or in Word or in Google Docs or Google Sheets or in my diary. I had like all these notes, and I still do use all those other things like for other things. but to put everything in your mind in one program. So I've got one category for my 2022 project, so that's where I write like my ebook ideas or my next online program ideas, or I want to host a webinar, so what topics am I going to cover, and I can kind of just brainstorm all under there, and I know what projects I want to achieve for 2022. Then I've got my YouTube video ideas, so any topics I think of and any titles under those topics, so I can kind of lay it out. So when it comes to the week on a Tuesday, I can be like, oh cool, what topic do I want to talk about? What am I feeling the most out of all these ideas I already have? A tab for branded content, so all my brand deals. So I've got like the name of the company, what they require of me. Is it like one story in one post? Do I have a discount code? Is there any like content brief of like the style of images that they want? So I just put it all there. So it's easy to keep track of, and any deadlines as well. Ideas for my TikTok and Instagram reels. So when it's time to post this content, like I might just think of something like at the gym or at a random time during the day, but you don't want to lose the idea, so I just put it in there. Then when I come to posting my daily content, I can be like, oh no, what do I post? Oh, just click on this and there's this huge list of ideas. So it's great to keep it all in one spot. I have different tabs for my goals, different recipes I want to try, different online shopping websites. If I'm ever like, oh, I want a new outfit for such and such, there's like a list of all the websites that I like to go to in one place. I've got a wish list and different workouts that I've saved in there just as like bullet points of the different moves before I got my program from this PT. My notes from my last 8-week program, so when I was filming the videos, I laid out like every lesson for each week with like the title and everything that it covers, so that I can just read off it when I'm filming the videos. I've got my business plan in there, and also notes from my other online coaching job, like all the back end links that we need to go to create the programs for the clients and all the logins. And then also I'm doing like investing in some coaching at the moment, and I didn't want to forget what I've invested in, so after I have the coaching call, I just put notes into the other tab so that I can refer back to it whenever I feel like up-leveling or remembering what I'm trying to do, kind of thing. So I've got quite a few things in there, but whatever works for your business, whatever you need to keep track of, different things that you want to do in your business or different goals that you want to reach, different topic ideas, social media stuff, even just different life plans. They've got all these different templates which I haven't really used. I just use like a title and bullet points, so that's easy for me, but there's plenty of templates in there, whether it's stuff got to do with finances or anything. So I just find this a lifesaver, and it's also free to use, so that is amazing. PAYHIP is what I use to sell my ebooks, and they did just make a new section of it that's just launched this week that you can now do online courses on there as well. So I'm thinking of using that for my next program that I create. It'll obviously be ready in a few months' time because it takes quite a while to do all these things. But for the ebooks, you can literally just upload the cover photo, upload the PDF, and I also create my ebooks in Canva, so just download that as a PDF. Cover photo I make myself, and then the description and the price, and you can also sign people up to your email list once they download an ebook as well. I've also got my lead magnet on there, so that's a free one, so I can just share the free link for people to download, and I'm getting email subscribers. So it's just really simple to use. I can embed the page of the ebook on my website as well, and then it just integrates with everything, so it's really, really helpful. The hosting that I use for my website is BLUEHOST and WordPress. So I started my blog when I was quite young, maybe around 19 or something. My roommate gave me the suggestion, hey, why don't you start a blog? And I was like, that's a good idea. I never thought about doing that. And I think that's actually the start of this whole journey of doing all the social media stuff and starting businesses. It all stemmed from that. But I just remember it took me a while to set up when I was young. I wasn't very tech savvy and had no prior experience to anything like that. But I set up the website on here, and I just remember everyone saying, because I researched a lot into it, and they said that it gives you a lot more freedom to earn money from it and better SEO and lots of other things than some of the smaller companies who do like more free websites or cheaper websites. They may be easier to use to drag and drop, but the Bluehost and WordPress, like, you can do a lot more with it if you want to really have a really professional website. So I've just stuck with that ever since, and I built my whole website by myself with no prior experience. If you need to know how to do something, you just literally YouTube videos how to do such and such and watch tutorials. So I just figured it out all myself, but I definitely like Bluehost and WordPress for it's a bit more complex, but a more professional and able to do more things for a website. I was just having a sip of this beautiful veggie broth, and I've only just started drinking it. This isn't sponsored, but the one I buy is Nutra Organics, and it's just this, you just add a tablespoon of powder and fill the mug with water, and it's so hydrating, and especially with all this COVID pandemic stuff going on, like 70% of our immunity is made in our gut, so it's just so important to have good gut health. And I don't know, if you're in tune with your body, you can just feel when you eat something good, and just drinking it, it just feels like there's hydrating nutrients going into your stomach and like dispersing throughout your whole body. It's just like so warming and so earthly. It just tastes delicious. It makes you feel really nice. So definitely get into veggie broth if you don't already drink it. The next one I wanted to say was iMovie. So that's my video editing software that comes pre-done, ready to go on a MacBook. I always used to think MacBooks were so hard to use. I was like, what do all those icons mean at the bottom of the screen? And always had Windows, but those computers would always just break and they would just turn off forever. And I just definitely like MacBooks now. I think they're really a game changer. So I just use the iMovie on there to edit all my YouTube videos, and I also edit my podcast on there because I just cover the same topics and post to both to save time, really. So I just download the video for YouTube and then save it and start uploading that, and then I just switch it to download the audio instead and make any other changes I need to make, and then the audio is downloaded and then upload that to my podcast platform. So it's pretty easy to use, and I use it for both, which is awesome. I use Xero for my accounting software, and this did take me a little bit to wrap my head around, but if you want to grow your business, you really need to have these baseline fundamental things in place from the start, or just get into the habit of doing it. So you can send invoices from there, and before I knew how to do that, I was just using like Google Sheets and had an invoice template and would manually do it each time. But now that I learned how to do it on Xero, it will automatically populate the invoice number, and it already has the address of the contact and the email, and it sends it right to them from the software already. It is on the pricey end, but it's much easier than doing everything manually at the end of the month or by the time tax time comes around. So it is really worth it if you want to have like a good baseline of your business and if you want to scale. So that's what I use. You can view different reports like your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. I also use HubDoc to take photos of my receipts, and that's connected to Xero. So say if I buy gas for my car, or even if I buy a coffee that's entertainment, I take a photo of the receipt, and then I just go through once a month and categorize it. So you just manually categorize it, and once it's seen the same things a few times, it will automatically put it into different categories for you, and you just have to double check it. So it is slow at the start, and you're there doing these things for ages, like manually writing each thing like, oh, this is just a transfer into my savings. But you can set up automatic rules so that it automatically detects it, and you just click okay once you start to do it a bit more, and it recognizes your spending patterns or your account patterns. And another one, if you didn't want to use Xero, I've heard that QuickBooks is really well, but I've never tried that myself. To edit all of my photos for social media, I use Lightroom. I just use the free version. I think you can get a paid one for the computer, but I just use the free one on my phone. I've downloaded filter templates I've downloaded them online from other people I follow or from Etsy. So you just edit the photo, you can add the filter, make any adjustments you need to make, and then save it. It just makes the colors pop a little bit more than just adding the photo or using like the Instagram filters, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows that already. I just thought I'd put that one out there. And the final one that I use is Canva. I actually, when I had my food truck, I was making my own logos for it and designing the menus and doing everything from there, doing all the marketing. And I went to this girl to print out the big logo sticker to put on the food truck. And she said, wow, how do you do all that stuff? I've always wanted to get a degree in graphic design. And I'm like, oh, I just use a website. And you literally just drag and drop. And I'm currently teaching my manager at the health store how to do it as well, so that she can do the social media posts and how to switch out the photos and edit the text. And it's very, very user friendly. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows about this one already as well, but obviously there's still some people in the world who don't know about it. But I have written ebooks on there before. For lengthy books I'd probably use Google Docs instead, but Canva do have some really, really pretty templates and different pictures that you can add, like different cartoony like looking leaves, and I don't know, it just makes it look so cool and professionally done. Then I design the ebook covers on there. I do all my social media, like if I'm doing a text post where I want to do like a cool quote or something, so it's just got everything there that you need. I did use the free one for years, and then I did end up upgrading to the pro just because there's more options. You can create like a brand kit and then share your stuff with other people, but the main thing for me was just unlocking more options of the things that you can add to the screen and different text and different photo, like pictures of things. They're like cartoony food looking pictures, so I just wanted the full deal, so I upgraded to pro and I don't regret it, so that's awesome. So once again, I'll put the links to everything below if you want to check them out. And that brings us to the end of today's session. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found it helpful. I'm really, I love doing all the nutrition chats and stuff, but I'm quite interested in doing these business things because quite a few people are trying to start businesses or don't really know where to start, or they find it really overwhelming. And I am obviously still new to this, but I have been doing it for a few years in different ways, like doing social media management, or doing the food truck, or doing my nutrition business, or doing the social media for the health store. And I still create content for brands and stuff as well. So I've been doing like different areas for quite a while, so I thought I'd share what's been working for me and a bit of behind the scenes when it comes to my processes and getting things done and keeping track of everything. So don't forget to subscribe if you like my channel and want to see more videos like this, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.